So today is January 22nd, Sunday, Southern California, rainy day. Tony said it never rains in Southern California. It's been raining pretty good lately. Question of the night I'm thinking about is how do we balance, how do we get balance? Um, I was thinking about the other day how much attention high school athletes get for playing sports. I mean, they get the attention from peers, classmates, staff members, community exposure. And there's nothing wrong with celebrating kids for being good at playing sports, but does it create balance? Because if you look at the statistics of how many young people actually make it to play sports in Division 1 sports, let alone sports in general in college, it's very rare. And then if you look at how many of them go from Division 1 to actually making to the NFL or NBA or professional in a lot of sports, it's also very rare. Professional baseball. So I wanted to ask, do we actually overdo our celebration of athletes, particularly as young people? Um, do we have a misbalance of the students who make honor roll? Like, how much attention do we get? Like, are there magazines that put straight A high school students on their cover? And I'm wondering, is that something we need to do? I was talking to a high school athlete, or former high school athlete, and he was really good. The athlete was really good in high school. I mean, very good. And he was recruited, heavily recruited. And he had a string of injuries. He also had some personal issues that took place. And he's no longer playing football. And so he basically went into a mild, he was functional every day. But he realized that he went through a level of a depression. He was able to, take classes still. He continued in school, and he was able to, function. Nobody knew he was depressed, but he actually was depressed. And I was wondering, do we pump up and do we build up the expectation and the pomp of circumstance of young people um, playing in college, playing sports in college and the pros so much to the point that if they don't make it at 20 or 19 or wherever their age they feel like their dream doesn't come true, are they able to cope? And I just look at how many young people probably could make it into college with maybe a quarter of the time they spend in sports academically. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that had it not been for sports, they probably that was their ticket out of their neighborhoods, their communities, to get a higher education. I don't think there's a lot, many athletes that probably wouldn't trade, have an opportunity to play in college for anything in the world. But for every Magic Johnson, who's gone on to be just a great businessman, for every Magic Johnson and Shaquille O'Neal and baseball, for every um, Derek Jeter, there's probably literally millions of young men and women who don't make their goals athletically. And so I wanted to ask, is it, are we overdoing it? And do, if we put some of that energy into academics, could they meet their goals or their best version of themselves? So, if you spent, say you spent 3 4 hours every day doing something for sports, and you did it every day during the week, every day in the school week, what if you put in those 3 hours once a week or twice a week, prepping for the SAT or prepping for your college entrance, essays and things like that. So those are things I'm just kind of wondering tonight as I sit back and think about life. Are we over? Are we overdoing it with emphasis on sports with our young people? Sports are create healthy children, You learn how to work as a team. There are a lot of benefits to sports, but my question is, are we overdoing it? Are we over um, celebrating the high school athlete, and are we undervaluing the students who are they're kicking butt in the classroom? You know, do we need to do more than just the dean's list or principal's list or whatever it is at their school and their certificate? Like, should we do more to celebrate them on a consistent basis? So that's what's on my mind tonight, Sunday, January 22nd, 2017. Um, Looking at the NFL playoffs, Tom Brady looks like he's going to go to his umpteenth Super Bowl versus the Atlanta Falcons. So, thinking about sports, thinking about our 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 parts in the sports world as everyday people, and for those of us that have children, young people, um, it's something to think about. Should we use sports for our betterment, or should we allow ourselves to be used by sports? And so it's pretty interesting to think about. I'm a high school teacher, and I can't tell you, if I had a dime for every time I talk to a student, a male student, and ask him what's his career goals, and he says, I want to be in the NBA. I'm going to the NFL. And the young man is not even starting on the varsity team. Sometimes the young men are not even on the team. And but it's this one thing we kind of put on a pedestal, and they believe they can do it even though they may not have the grades and things of that nature. So, anyway, quick little video. Just want to ask some questions, trying to kind of get our brains thinking about, what is our part in our youth, and what we are showing them is important, and what's the top of the hill. Because some young men, and particularly men, this can happen with young ladies as well, but some young men are only thinking about being on the team, where other young men are thinking about owning the team, or being an agent for a player on the team, or being a doctor on the team, or being someone that um, does some type of ancillary business with the team. So these are all things to think about: is what are we preparing our young people to do? What do we find? What do we deem as important? Because the facts are this: um, I believe 1 in 56,000 students, or it could be. I got to get that reference out, but it's a very high number. I think I'm going to say 1 in 55,000 students are actually going to play Division I sports. But you can double check that with me. But I believe it's 1 in 55,000. Then you say, how many out of that D1 are going to college, to pros? Then you're looking at, it's really 1 in 1,000,000 that go pro, if you look at the numbers. And I'm not saying that it's not something that is not to go after. If you have a dream, go for it. But we, particularly in some of our communities, we really put that as, my son has to make it, or else we won't make it. And I think we have to take that same attitude as far as education. Um, if you're going to take your son or daughter to go get training, or, you got some kids, they got 2 trainers, a dietitian, another coach, as well as their school coach. They're on 3 different teams. But at the same time, it's like, okay, what energies are we putting in their education? Other than saying, hey, keep your grades up, make sure you're eligible. No, man, you got to get them, you got to study the books. But I mean, really being an active participant and making sure that the same energies we put into their athletic training, we put into their academic training. But anyway, that's just something to think about. J.R. Rucker, Sunday night laid back thoughts. Comment below. Let me know what you think. What you feel is our current state of how we look at high school athletes. And I'll talk to you later.